There are cars that define an era, and then there's the Honda Civic Type R EK9, a car that not only marked the beginning of a legendary lineage, but also proved that passion, engineering, and racing spirit could live together inside what looked like a simple compact car. And today, I'm going to tell you its story. The story of a car born with a very clear mission: to prove to the world that you don't need a V8 or a turbo to truly feel what driving is all about. But before we go any further, let me ask you something. Have you ever driven a car that made you feel completely connected to the road? If your answer is yes, then you probably already understand what a Type R means. The Honda Civic EK9 was launched in 1997, exclusively for the Japanese market. Yes, only Japan had the privilege of buying it brand new. At that time, the world saw the Civic as a reliable, economical, even boring car. But Honda had another plan. They wanted to create a pure version, a machine built for purists, for those who love naturally aspirated engines, who enjoy every gear change, who live for that sound screaming past 8,000 RPM and can't help but smile. The EK9 was the first Civic ever to carry the Type R badge, a name previously reserved for the NSX-R and the Integra Type R. That alone gave a clue of what was coming: absolute performance, lightness, and precision. Under the hood, the EK9 hid a true mechanical gem: the B16B engine, a 1.6-liter that produced 185 horsepower at 8,200 RPM. Yes, 185 horsepower from a 1.6 naturally aspirated engine. That meant almost 116 horsepower per liter, an insane figure even today. And the way it achieved it was pure Honda magic: high compression, big valves, aggressive camshafts, and of course the vtec system, which transformed the engine's character past 6,000 RPM. That moment when vtec kicked in, it was pure adrenaline. If you've ever heard it in person, you know what I'm talking about. And if not, let me tell you, it's one of the most addictive sounds in automotive history. But the EK9 wasn't just about the engine. Honda obsessed over every single detail to make it feel special. The chassis was reinforced, the body was stiffer, and they shaved off every unnecessary gram. No extra insulation, no luxury, no compromise. Total weight, around 1,050 kilos. The result? A stunning power-to-weight ratio for its time and an incredibly direct, analog driving feel. No traction control, no turbos, no filters, just you, the steering wheel, and the engine. And speaking of steering, the EK9 featured a helical limited slip differential, something usually found in much more expensive cars. It gave the Civic incredible traction through corners, especially on mountain roads or racetracks. Many still call it one of the best handling front-wheel drive cars ever built. And you know what's funny? It wasn't even that fast in a straight line. It did 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in about 6.7 seconds. But on twisty roads, it was a beast. Because more than raw power, what it offered was feeling. That perfect connection between driver and machine that so few cars ever achieve. The interior followed the same philosophy. Red Recaro seats, a Momo steering wheel, a titanium shift knob, red carpets, and an instrument cluster with a red line starting at 8,200 RPM. No screens, no gimmicks, no unnecessary tech, just what you needed to drive. It was a car built by and for people who truly love driving. In Japan, its starting price was about 2 million yen, which back then was roughly 17,000 US dollars. Not outrageous, but here's the catch. You could only buy it if you lived in Japan. Honda never exported it officially. Not to Europe, not to the US, not even to Australia. But that didn't stop the EK9 from becoming a legend worldwide. Over the years, enthusiasts began importing them through private channels, and soon the Type R name spread far beyond Japan. Today, finding one outside Japan is almost a miracle. And if you do find one, be ready. Prices have skyrocketed. In 2025, a well-preserved EK9 easily fetches $40,000 to $50,000 US, and fully original, unmodified examples can exceed $70,000 US. It's crazy to think that a Civic, a so-called budget car, has become a collector's piece. But then again, this wasn't just any Civic. It was the purest Civic ever made. And we can't forget its influence in the tuning world. The EK9 became the foundation for countless builds across the globe. Adjustable coilovers, engine swaps, exhaust systems, spoon, Mugen, Toda racing. Every major Japanese tuner wanted to leave their mark on this car. And although many were heavily modified, some enthusiasts choose to keep them stock because they know the true magic lies in how Honda built it from the start. Now, did you know that the EK9 also competed in racing? It took part in Japan's touring car championships, where it went up against far more powerful rivals, and still managed to fight at the front thanks to its balance and lightness. It was living proof that you don't need raw power to be fast, just precision, chassis balance, and an engine that never quits. Today, the Civic EK9 Type R stands as a symbol of a bygone era. An era when cars were analog, lightweight, raw. No screens, no turbos, no filters. Just the sound of a high-revving engine and pure driver engagement. And here's where I want to ask you something. Would you rather own one of these classic, naturally aspirated icons, or a modern turbocharged car full of electronics? Because many agree. The EK9 represents the last generation of cars with soul. The most beautiful thing about the EK9 is that it was the beginning of a legend. After it came many more Type R models, but none were as pure, as raw, or as close to a race car as the EK9. In fact, it was hand-built at Honda's Suzuka plant, the same place where their race cars were assembled. Each unit received an extraordinary level of care and precision, something unthinkable today for a car in its segment. And if you're a JDM fan, you know the EK9 shares its aura with other legends like the Integra Type RDC2, the Nissan Silvia S15, or the Mazda RX-7 FD. All cars created by passionate engineers, not marketing departments. Another little-known fact: Honda didn't just use a regular Civic chassis. The EK9's structure had extra welds and reinforcements on the floor, the pillars, even around the windshield frame. Everything was done to improve rigidity, cornering precision, and high-speed stability. It also had bigger brakes, stiffer suspension, and unique dampers developed exclusively for this model. The limited slip differential completely transformed how it behaved out of corners. It was a car that begged you to push it, and rewarded you when you did. And aesthetically, the EK9 had unmistakable touches. The championship white paint, white wheels, red interior, all direct tributes to the Honda NSX-R. Small details that turned a humble hatchback into an icon. Today, many young enthusiasts discover the EK9 through video games, Gran Turismo, Forza, Need for Speed. And even through a screen, it still sparks the same emotion it did nearly 30 years ago. Because deep down, every car lover wants the same thing, to feel something real. And the EK9, more than just a car, is an experience. So next time you see one, don't look at it as just another Civic. See it for what it truly is, a piece of Japanese automotive history, a love letter to pure driving. And I'll leave you with one last question. If you could have any Type R ever made, which one would you choose? The original EK9, the legendary DC2, or the brutal modern FK8? Let me know in the comments. I want to hear your pick. What's certain is that the Civic Type R EK9 was, and still is, the starting point of a philosophy. The philosophy of building cars that make you feel alive. And that, my friends, is priceless.